to and fro communication. I understand we are new to the interface. What we did so far, we just got Azure, Databricks, and now we need to get into the first step. I'll just repeat once again how to get the Databricks in the red box. Hope you all have the blue box, right? Everyone, please. We'll slowly step into the red box now. I'll repeat the concept. We're all having blue box, everyone, right? Please confirm, please.
Yes, sir. No, yes, sir. Actually, it's my first class.
Yes.
I don't have. Sir, I don't have that blue box thing like which you mentioned. This is my first class, so probably I'll follow the first video and then I'll get it installed.
Please.
Yep. Sure. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, friends. Attendees from Azure Developer course. Weekend Azure Developer course. Yes, you're attending these Spark cluster classes. It is, but these are all mandatory, okay, to step into your R programming, Python programming in Spark, Azure Developer. This is actually a data engineering course we are going on. Now let me be very clear and straight. Yes, from today we need to slowly start with implements. Please, Priyanka Molhati, please mute your mic, please mute your mic, please. We have to implement Spark. How? By creating something called notebooks. These notebooks have three brands: Spark SQL, okay, mainly for data engineers. Data engineers using Spark SQL notebooks. Python notebooks, it's more into Azure developers. But still, as a data engineer, I could see PUAT is going for both data engineering as well as Azure developer courses. So let me be clear. Azure data engineers, say 2 out of 10. Then Azure developers, it should be 10 out of 10. As simple as that. Comparison. Why we require it for engineers, though it is programming, yes, it's more into ETL activities we do here. Same way, case with Scala. Notebooks, we have R. R notebooks are also there, required for developers. And we have Java as well, developer, and .NET, recently introduced in Spark, and it is required. Just to get some idea. If you are from DP203 certification exam, Python is mentioned once, Scala is mentioned once, Spark is mentioned 12 times. In DP243 examination, I'm talking about, just in case if you are into, so that you can plan your concentration levels accordingly. So as a data engineer, yes, definitely we need to have Python, we need to have Scala, but not as deep as a developer or a data scientist. Yes, we require it from ETL perspective. Let's understand carefully how to get Databricks so that we can have cluster. Then we go for implementation of Spark. Once we start to implement, this is important for us. Assuming we are very, very new to the environment, we'll take examples this way. Simple, straightforward, carefully planned way. First example we'll do. First example we are going to do the notebook example. user interface with SQL notebooks. Second example we'll do scripts with SQL notebooks. Then third example we'll do script with SQL notebooks and slowly introduce Python. I understand we are very, very new. Then fourth example, we'll have script with GUI. We'll have GUI with Python. Nice user interface for Python. We'll do carefully. Then next example, we'll again go back to script with Python. We'll do this way. I understand we are very, very new to Python. That's my assumption. We'll take it carefully. Then we'll go for integrations. SQL Server with Spark clusters using Python. We'll do this. And same activities we'll do for Scala. So this is the examples plan from now. What we need to do, why we are here, simple. Big data storage, big data ETL, big data analytics. Let's get started. Make sure you have Azure subscription. You already have it, just in case. If not, please get it ready. As a data engineer, our main responsibility is backend activities. Here, storage, ETL, analytics. I'll mail you these notes. So to make sure we understand the items carefully, right from so-called SQL notebooks, today to get some idea like why we are going for this Spark clusters. Are we ready, everyone? Please, we'll start now. Are we ready, everyone? Please.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it carefully. I understand we are very, very new to the keywords, new to Spark SQL, new to Python, new to Scala. I know, I understand. We are all very new. Let's love to learn together. Need your support. Don't delay the practice, okay? Please. It won't work. Parking the practice for a weekend will not work. Medicine and practice would be on time. Otherwise, secret side effects. Medicine and practice should be on time. Otherwise, secret side effects. Please understand. They know how to say silent sorries. You practice items as is. Let's do it now. I'll show you how to define the Databricks once again. And we slowly proceed for cluster and notebook. Simple, straightforward process. Come on, friends, how to create the Databricks resource now? Repeat of yesterday's class. Click create. Yes, so here we go, friends. Please observe carefully. Try to sing with me so that your voice would be more comfortable for me. And there are no new voices during Q&A. No new voices during Q&A. Let's get started now. Let's sing together. Our subject will be same. Click on create. Once we click on create, come on. What next? What we need to type over there, please?
Database.
Yes.
Database.
Yeah. Please wait. Here it is. Go for Azure Databricks. Now a question comes. What is this? Why so many Databricks variants here? Yes. Azure is such a nice cloud platform wherein your company can come with its own Databricks implementations and host it in Azure cloud. Customizations. Nowadays, we see something called third-party tools. We have third-party tools for SQL Server, third-party tools for Oracle, etc. Same way, third-party for Databricks, but hosted inside Azure. And for now, we require Azure Databricks. Next, any resource group is okay. Some background sound, please. Some background sound. Now, give the workspace name. Any workspace is fine. Some workspace name, any name is fine. Come on, what next? Pricing tier would be trial, right? This one. Just leave the remaining as it is and create. Remember the default location is US. Okay, default. It should be fine. It is fine. Default East US location is absolutely fine. Once you get your Databricks ready, automatically, whenever you define a Databricks resource, automatically one Databricks file system would be created. DBFS we call. Databricks file system, like a common storage, common hard disk. Clusters are like computers or groups of computers. One cluster may have 10 nodes, 10 processor memory items. Other cluster may have 20 nodes, 20 processor memory units. Together we have one storage called DBFS. Now, whenever we create a Databricks resource, a DBFS would be auto-created. The storage will be ready automatically. Now, what else? To play with the Databricks environment, or in fact, to play with this Spark cluster environment, I understand we are very new to the Spark environment, a DTL environment. To play with the Redbox, to play with the Spark, Apache Spark clusters, we need something called as Workspace, a browser-based tool, remember. Just like Management Studio tool for SQL Server, we have a browser-based tool called Workspace, remember. In Azure Databricks Workspace, we call it. Let's understand now how to get into the workspace and implement the yellow box in the diagram. What is that? Creating a cluster. Okay, so here it is. The detailed nodes, get free account, then Databricks resource is created. Databricks resource is created. Next, once we get the Databricks resource, then next step, we need to slowly proceed and create something called Spark cluster. Ideally, we can create one or more clusters. You see the diagram few minutes back, there are two clusters, big clusters, and one small cluster. Here it is, the diagram just in case once again. You have multiple clusters here. Two big clusters, one small cluster. We can do it. Now, what's our requirement? Let's create one particular cluster for now. Come on, what's the purpose of cluster? Why we are creating? Come on, friends, do you remember? Yes, please.
For processing Spark.
Parallelism.
the purpose of cluster?
To create the business
and resources.
A very good process.
Handle data.
Yes. To operate on Spark, we require a Spark cluster. Do you remember?
It's like database management tool.
Exactly. To operate on a database, you require DBMS. To operate on Spark, we require a cluster. Are we clear, everyone? Please, straightforward. Are we clear now, everyone? Please.
Yes.
There is something called Spark environment for storage, ETL, analytics, environment. Okay. To operate on environment, we require a cluster. Like, for example, to operate on SQL database, you require SQL server, right? Something like that. SQL server required to operate on SQL database. Here Spark cluster required to operate on Spark. How Spark looks like? Let's enjoy it carefully with examples now. So where we are, we are ready with the Databricks resource. Let's get into the cluster resource now. This notepad is just a small heads up. The detailed documents would be available for you on email anyway. How to create Spark cluster inside Databricks. Step 1. From above created Databricks resource, launch workspace. See here, we need to launch something called workspace. Here you go. Your Databricks resource is ready. Click on go to resource. Go to resource. What next? Click on launch workspace. Okay, this one. Very important. Well, you are the owner of your Databricks resource, so you launch the workspace here. Okay, but do not do that way. Maybe other data engineers, mostly Azure developers, Azure data scientists, they are going to use the workspace. Remember, you are the admin. You are responsible for ETL and admin. But what about development? What about analytics? Other people, developers, data scientists, they are going to take care. But we are all working on one Databricks service. Then how they are going to access? Using URL. So as a data engineer, we are responsible to securely protect and manage the Spark cluster. Remember that. Certification Microsoft or so you understand what exactly we actually do at job work. Based on that only we have certification. Remember. So users will use URL. We are going to see that. How the URL has to be accessed, how it has to be protected. For time being only we are using this button, remember. For users it is URL. For admins, engineers it is workspace. Now go to launch workspace. Now why it is saying upgrade to premium? Reason, we had 14 days trial, right? That's all. If it is a real licensed one, then we don't see this button. It will automatically take you to premium workspace. But fortunately, no difference. Whatever premium customers enjoy, the same thing we can enjoy with our 14 days trial. Launch workspace. Remember, it's for you and me. Users will use URL. Remember that. Now, click on launch workspace, or even the users also click on the URL. It's ADP-5688, so on, right? Same thing. ADP-5688, so on. It's nothing but the same URL. Now, minor difference. We need to understand the firewall connections. For now, simply launch workspace, and here who are going to use it? The Spark clusters will be used by data scientists, developers, and data engineers. Let's see what we need to do. Let's close all windows. Very first item inside the workspace, create a cluster. How? Here it is. Because without cluster, we cannot create notebooks. And without notebooks, we cannot do the so-called querying, data processing, and for data scientists, machine learning. So what we do is now, left side plus symbol, create cluster. See there. Left side plus symbol, create cluster. They're documented in your notes. Well, first go to workspace. Once you go to workspace, then left side plus create cluster. Give some name. You'll do the practice after the class. Please stay tuned. If you are using free trial, then select single node cluster. We will see the differences between the cluster modes. After we take a couple of examples, we can easily understand the theory part, the differences, linking it with our experience. For now, experience we get from practice. For now, single node cluster. Come on, what is node? NODE, node. Do you remember what is node? Processor, memory, resource. Processor, memory, resource is taken as a node. Just like a virtual machine, we call it. Processor and memory. For now, we'll go for single node cluster. If you are using free trial, single node cluster should be fine. Select the single node cluster. So simply provide the cluster name, mode, single node cluster, and create. Now, by default, it says 120 minutes of inactivity for auto termination. Just leave it. Here is a free trial. Just create the cluster. Now, come on. What should be the next step? Yes, your cluster is ready. Come on. What should be the next step?
Notebook.
Yes. You need to create something called as notebooks. Understand carefully what exactly a notebook is and how to work. Back to our notes. Well, to implement Spark, you need to create notebooks. Let's create few notebooks. Until here, we'll do examples. Then step into the Spark cluster architecture. Then we'll continue the next level examples. This way, two benefits. It will take 1 day to understand the architecture. So that will be like a breathing day for us to complete the previous pending items, if any, and get ready for the next exam. That's the main intention. Number two, we can easily understand the terminology in the architecture rather than simply blindly by hearting the theory. Let's understand with examples. Let's have examples first. Simple and simple. I'll mail you this note. Okay? Let's observe carefully. Now, what we do? Databricks resource ready, cluster ready. Now, notebook has to be ready. What is notebook? Simple. We are all aware of SQL Server. Right click, new query. What is this? Session.
That's right.
But a notebook in Spark. Nothing else. Remember, nothing else. New query, another one. I can right click, save. Same way there also. You can download notebook. Each session is a .SQL file, right? We can download the file, upload the file, open the file, edit the file. Now replace file with notebook. Hope you got some idea, everyone. Please, we are going to start it now. Hope you got some idea, everyone. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So here it is. You got the cluster ready. Now what next? Notebook. Now, yes, click on create notebook. Correct. One thing. You would like to write some SQL query. Then you have a database and table. Then you can start working on the queries. Or you can create a database, create tables, and start working on the queries in the SQL session itself directly. I repeat once again. If you have a database with you, table with you, right click new query, select from table name. That is one option. Or you have a brand new session, you create a database, create a table through script, and start selecting the data. Same thing here. Well, we can directly create a notebook, nothing wrong. But as we are very new to the environment, let's have a touch on user interfaces. Graphical interface with notebooks, GUI. To get some idea what exactly it is. Remember, notebook is nothing but a connection window, a session window, a workspace window. And what is the backend here? Come on, friends. What's the backend we are working with? What is storage? Storage. What's the storage component we are working with? Come on, please. DBFS. You remember this one? Yes. Databricks file system. Whenever I have the Databricks, you got DBFS auto created, right? We are going there now. Inside DBFS, there is one database called default database auto created. Click on create table. How come table directly? Why not database? Here it is. Database is automatically there. You want to create new database? No user interface, only through notebooks. But yes, fortunately, there is one database already there. So let's create table. See here. Let's create table and drop files to upload. For now, we are doing the files manually. In real world, it may not be the case. Remember, it may not be the case. Most of the times, we get the data from something called data lake storage. Remember, lined up for our examples. Here it is. Number 7, we will talk about data lake storage will be the source for DBFS. Remember, in general, okay? But it's too early to go there. Understand those operations. Number 7, number 3 right now, we are still at the very basics. For time being, let's upload a file manually. Let's do it. But remember, real world, it's all about live data capture. Okay? It's all about live data capture from data lake storage. For time being, upload the file manually. You will be receiving one .csv file today. Open. Where we are uploading? We are uploading it to DBFS, Databricks file system. Here it is in your diagram, this one, DBFS, a common storage environment. Now, upload the file. It's not enough. Once we upload the file, it's ETL environment. The file has to be formatted to a table. We can create table in UI or notebook. First example, then second example. We'll do so. Create table using UI. User interface. Come on, where we are? We created Databricks. Then we created cluster. Right? This one, create and cluster. Now, very next item, table. For creating table, we uploaded the file. The file got uploaded and it says create table. For this option, it will ask you for cluster. Observe carefully now. Without cluster, we cannot perform any activity. Cluster includes nodes. Nodes are like the processor memory resources. Those are mandatory. So select the cluster that we created a few minutes back. Preview. Now we get one table. Give some name. Any name is okay. Any name is fine. For our examples, it is sales data. Well, and first row is automatically coming up with C1, C2, C3, so on columns. So first row is header, the transformation. We're extracting data from a file, transforming it with first row as header, table names. If required, we can also change the column names if you wanted to. We can change the column names. For now, leave it as it is. Then finally create table. You are converting file into table. I repeat, 3 transformation, ETL, extracting file. First transformation, rename. Second transformation, first row as header, also called promote header. If you are from Tableau or Power BI or any other big data analytics cloud-based, promote first row as header we call. First row as header, and then third transformation, convert to table. The file query is converted to table query. File query converted to table query.
The file type remains CSV only.
The source system, the source. Okay. From there, we are actually looking for the table. Okay. Table has to be ready now. This is the source. The source file type is CSV. Now your table will be ready. Come on, what is default? Give a guess. Table based data. What is the default there? Give a guess.
Database name.
Exactly, database name. There is no concept of schema in Spark. There is no concept of schema in Spark. Okay, remember. Regular SQL database. Yes, we have database name dot, schema name dot, table name. I'm talking about SQL database. If you compare Microsoft SQL Server or Snowflake, schema name in between. Whereas here, no schema name in between. Spark does not support the concept of schema. We cannot create schema separately. I'm talking about schema object. It's database name dot table. Right now we are using the default database called default. Name is default. Later we'll see how to create our own databases. Remember, it is inside DBFS. It's a separate backend altogether. Just like Oracle, just like SQL Server, here we have Spark table. This is a Spark table. Next item, Spark SQL. Spark database ready, Spark ready, and now Spark SQL. Are we getting it, everyone? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Come on, give a guess. What would be the query to read data from the table? What will be the query now?
Select star.
Select star from
Sales data, right? Isn't it? Select star from sales data. Now, where to write it? I said session, right? New query window, session. So create
Notebook.
exactly create notebook. So our database is ready, table is ready. How you got the table? By using the cluster, right? We selected the cluster, then table is created. Now notebook, create notebook, and here in free trial you don't see Java and .NET. If it is a premium account, you see Java and .NET for developers. For us, at this moment, we'll go for SQL. Some background sound, please check it, please. Say notebook 1. Give some notebook name. Click create. See here, cluster is required. Where is notebook? Very important. The notebooks would be associated to cluster. I mean, without cluster, no notebook. Something like this. At first sight, this should be our understanding. So, cluster first, notebook next. I'm taking from execution perspective. Cluster first, notebooks next. One cluster can have multiple notebooks linked to it. Here we go. Notebook 1, give some name, create. How I get it? Plus notebook. See here. Plus notebook. Then I'll say notebook 1. Default language. For now, SQL. And click create. Let's wait for the session. So this is our first look. I said session, but it's very small box. No problem. Let me show you. Select the star from sales data. What is this sales data? It is the table we created a few minutes back. Run cell. This one, run cell. Okay. Now, here it is. Star should be there, right? Star should be there. We are aware of SQL, and now run cell. It is case insensitive, right? As you see here. Getting it, that's everyone. Are we
Yes,
getting it? It is
Yes, sir.
Spark. This is Spark SQL. Now, next question, how it is different from Transact SQL, right? That should be your question. Yes, by end of tomorrow's class, we'll come to a conclusion how Transact SQL is different from Spark SQL. Number 4. We need to wait. There are a few more things we need to run another step. We are right now in number 3. Here it is. Notebook is a web interface to perform data storage, transformations, reporting, and analytics. How to do reporting? How to do analytics? Let's remember, no limit on the size of the data or number of parallel connections. If you remember, earlier I said DOP, degree of parallelism, degree of parallel connections. Every notebook is divided into cells. Select from table name. Now, how to get the new cell? By clicking on small plus symbol. It's from your note. Let's go back. How to get new one? Scroll down, plus symbol. you get a new cell. Once we get the new cell, we can start writing queries. For example, I'll say it's a sales data based on few months. So I'll say equal to April. Here it is. You got month values, right? Country wise, company wise, month wise, same. I would like to get only April data. Did you identify any difference between Transact SQL and the Spark SQL? Come on, I'll wait. Any minor difference to identify?
Single quotes and double quotes.
Exactly, sir. Correct. Single quote, double quote, interchange. Single quote, double quotes, interchange. Wherever you have single quote in Microsoft Transact SQL, there we need to use double quotes in Spark SQL. That's a big difference. Generally, we use single quote for character data. In Spark SQL, it is double quotes. Remember. Okay. With this information, now let's understand here. What's the purpose of notebook? Yes, extraction, transformation, and reporting. We are only concentrating on select statement right now. There is something called analytics, I said. Here it is. For every output, you can download the output of a particular command. Command output can be downloaded. And we have, by default, it is output is in table format. We can also give it in a different format. For example, bar chart like this. We can do analysis. Say, for example, bar chart. And how to customize a bar chart? Click on plot options. I repeat, by default, it is table. By default, it is table. Now, I'll take it for example, bar chart. Then plot options. Bar chart, then plot options. Here, you would like to have values, sale 2019. Would we say value? For example, I would like to have company-wise sales like this. Bar chart or pie chart like this. We can have quick visualization. And click OK. Simply click OK here. So output of a particular notebook is by default table. By default, it is table. We can also have pie chart, bar chart, etc. Come on, where we are? We got Databricks resource, Spark cluster. From there, create it. Now, and in your notes, you got few more queries just in case, okay? For practice purpose, click on plus symbol and like. How to execute this one? Run cell. Now come on. You have other alternatives of Apache Spark, right? Apart from Databricks, what's the other alternative for Spark? Do you remember? Synapse Analytics told. Exactly. So what? Yeah, exactly. So whatever notebooks we are creating now, every day from now, we are going to download and store them separately. If in case you have DevOps account, you can simply get them into GitHub. Reason? Yes, we can reuse them in Synapse Analytics. Just like saving a .SQL file, I was telling 20 minutes back, saving a .SQL file, we can export the notebook. See here. Export, see there, small button here, export and DBC, Databricks cluster. This is for other Databricks environments like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. They also support Databricks. For them, DBC we call it, Databricks cluster. Whereas for other cluster environments like Synapse Analytics, we have source file. I repeat, now you get automatically .stl file. In SQL editor we get it locally. I repeat once again. Download, export, DBC. This is for other Databricks cluster environment. Remember, I was mentioning yesterday, Databricks is an open source. AWS has Databricks, Google Cloud has Databricks, Azure has Databricks. So the Azure Databricks notebooks can be reused in other Databricks environments. First option. DBC we call Databricks archive. Second one, source file, .stl file, or HTML. It is for both other Databricks environments as well as other Spark cluster environments. .html. So this way, just like saving or downloading a .stl file, here we are downloading notebook. Because later classes we need to integrate, we need to use them in our other platforms, implementation platforms. Okay, with this information, you will be receiving a Word document that has few queries and one more Word document for tomorrow's class that has good number of queries. Then by end of tomorrow's class, we'll come to a conclusion, or by later half of tomorrow's class, we'll come to a conclusion. Spark SQL, Transact SQL differences. I'll mail you both notes today. If you have time, try to execute the queries carefully. If in case you have time, you'll practice today's class. Pretty sure. If you have time, try to implement next class example also. It is more or like similar to current exam. Hence my request. And
Is it from same sample file?
yes. Okay. So here it is. I mean, the queries look bit different, but you can apply to the same sample data. You got my point now? You can apply to the same sample data. You need to simply change the column names if you want it. Column names and tables. Or just go through the notes carefully, it should be fine. Anyway, we are going to take it tomorrow. With this information, now I'll mail you one screenshot for practice purpose along with the complete class notes. So here we go. Just wait. So come on, in the meantime, what we done today? A small SQL notebook, right? What are the steps involved here? Cluster. What next? Table. Next, notebook. Notebook. Right? What's the default database? Default. Default is a database environment. Default database is default, remember. So database name dot, come on, database name dot, yes, table concept of schema, remember. Okay, yes. Yep. We'll stop for today. FAQs I was requesting yesterday to submit. I could see only, I think, 10% participants submitted. Others, please. You'll be receiving next set of FAQs today, everyone. Please try to submit the items carefully and do let me know for questions. Please, please do it for me. Please practice the items. Don't miss anything. I am sending today's class notes, and just for easy reference, tomorrow's notes also in advance. Email, please take it in next 30 seconds. Any questions?
CSV also is good.
Already sent. That's all I can expect you to practice. I have now. Without.
Sir, could you please add me to the mailing list? Like I'm attending for the first day today.
Sure. I'll do the name.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll do.
Thanks, sir.
I try to create a cluster, but it keeps failing every time. It says the quota is exceeded.
Please mail me the screenshot once, okay? I'll check and update you. Mail me the exact screenshot you're getting. Reply to the session notes mail, okay?
Okay.
Same here side, it's showing like in a gray, like while I creating a cluster. Same.
Cluster, it should be single node. I was mentioning today.
It's there, yeah.
Yes.
I selected single node only.
Yeah, it should be single node cluster. Okay. In case you still get any error, please change location. I think in the error message it may say like try to change location. It may say. Please check it again. We're getting it.
Try another size or deploy to different location.
That's what. Yeah. Please try a different location. So how to do? Simply delete the Databricks resource. Start almost again. Delete existing Databricks resource. While creating cluster, if you get any error, delete the main service. I mean, Databricks resource, you have to delete it. Then recreate a new Databricks resource inside the cluster. Recreation of Databricks resource in a different location. Yes.
We have selected the same location, that East US.
Please select a different one. Actually, I'm using a paid account, so
Okay.
it might.
So which will be preferable, or we have to select randomly?
You can select anything randomly, but preferred one is the item which is near to your customer location. Okay. Data center. If I am working for a Chinese client, better to look for a data center which is near to China. Best performance in China. For try, you can choose anyone. Receive the mail, everyone. Please confirm. I'll wait. Please.
Yes, sir. I got your mail.
Yes. And
Yes,
but I cannot send attachments in mail from my laptop. I'll be sending a pages with the body message.
Sure, why not? It will be more happy for me. It will save my time. So downloading, I can direct check and update. Sure, why not? Sure.
If I can
I have been out of background noise, sir. Please check your mic, sir. Please. Yeah, next question, please. I'll wait.
can you hear me?
Yes, Dinesh, please tell me.
Yeah. So a couple of questions. So I saw you created a table outside the notebook, right? So does it mean you can actually create the table within the notebook and also outside the notebook?
Exactly. Yes, we can do both. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I had the same question. Thank
Here
you.
is the answer. Script with SQL notebook. Here we are going to learn.
Okay.
Now,
One more.
Your answer is
So, so when you selected the table right inside the notebook, so is there any limitations on the number of columns or rows it shows by default? Because when you do it in SQL Server, it just means say if the table A has like 100 columns, and when you select star, it's going to show 100 columns, right? So here, does it have any kind of limitation?
No limit, but more amount of cluster resources will be in use. If you start showcasing more data, obviously more resources will be in use. No limit. You'll be having the scroll bar automatic, vertical scroll bar automatic.
Okay, so that's possible with our like normal single node cluster itself.
Yeah, again possible. A single node cluster has up to 2 GB data per table. 2 GB.
Okay.
We'll take it to the architecture part anyway. 2 GB per table. Okay. So no worries.
Okay. So making this cluster run, every day, it's not going to charge anything about credit card.
No, 14 days trial is there, right? It's fine. After that, again, recreate for another 14 days. It works. No charge.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. email in the mailer list actually. I'll check with my team. I'll get your email address and do the need. No worries. I'll do.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, 1 second.
Tell me.
Another here. See, we are when we create the notebook, we selecting different language, right? SQL. So in that, we in the notebook we are creating cells. So each cell we can create different language. We can select different language.
Your answer will be, your question will be answered tomorrow's class. Notes already set for it.
Okay.
But anyway, here it is. I will be using SQL notebook, but I can have Python code tomorrow.
Okay.
Got it? Here it
Yeah.
is.
Understand.
With this one. This one.
Okay.
SQL notebook.
Thanks, sir. I have one more question.
Yes, sir. Please wait. I'm answering other person, right?
Okay.
I'm answering other person, right? Please. Where
Thank
we are? Yeah, this one. Okay. We will do it one by one.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. Swati, please tell me, sister. Please start it with.
Yeah. So my question is the cell is associated with the notebook?
Yes, of course. A cell is a part of the notebook. The statement is a part of the session. Statement is a part of the script. Same way. Yes. We cannot download a cell separately. We cannot upload a cell separately. It should be complete notebook, just like .SQL file.
Okay. Thank you.
Sai, one question here from the table creation part. So, if we have multiple pages in the CSV, I never saw a drop down to select the page, which page I want to load.
Only at that time. Script. No, the CI will not work at that time. But to go with script.
We created scripts in each cell, right? Are they related or they're always going to be atomic in each cell? Like, can we write one statement in one cell and then continue with the result set in the next cell?
Yes, we can do. In number 5, we are going to understand the same thing. We are going to have something called data frame in one command. Use the data frame in the next command. We are going to command 1, my TF, command 3. Again, I'm reusing it, right? Yes. Just like not a skill script, okay? Just like that. Yes.
Yeah. One question on the degree of parallel.
Yes.
So how do we compare Synapse analytics with Databricks?
I think you can do it yourself after we learn architecture. We'll do it anyway. Let's wait until the architecture part.
Yeah, because when I compare the Synapse, there is, say, for example, 60 storage units by default, right?
It's a distribution, not storage. Distribution is it.
Yeah, okay, distribution. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The architecture is entirely different, actually. So architecture is entirely different. We'll see Synapse architecture in our classes. We'll see Databricks architecture. Then you can do the easy comparison. Both are entirely different. Purpose is same, to host Spark cluster. But Synapse can do more, not just Spark cluster, It can do a lot more. It can store regular SQL databases. So architecture is entirely different.
Yeah. Sorry,
Next question, please. Mark, please tell me.
Actually, we have a different. Suppose we have 2 servers, and different databases having different servers. So in one cluster, we can use these 2 servers.
At that time, it's all about we have to use it, and we will be using it in our class.
Okay. Yeah.
And the code at that time. We'll create a new database and read from a remote database, from remote cluster, or remote environment.
Sai, yesterday's FAQ you mentioned that theoretical implementation for now for faster operations with data. What
Is the
what
answer.
would be the
More number of
so is it creating high degree of parallelism by adding multiple nodes?
exactly, yes, more DOP.
Funny, I didn't answer fully. I mean, I didn't get the answer fully. Like,
I'll check and repeat all my answers. No worries.
funny. Suppose we have one cluster. Right now we are using server 1, database 1, and like that. If in that same cluster we can use server 2. I mean, can we connect in single within single cluster? We can connect two servers to access the two different databases from two different servers.
We'll get the answer. Bye. No.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
After we're going to get the answer.
Okay.
We're going to our connections, the database connections.
Yeah, thank you.
One last question from my side. Like we talked about the export of notebooks, right? The DBC archive, source file, HTML. So I understood the DBC archive can be used in other database, and source file can be reused in a Synapse cluster kind of thing. Where HTML file can be reused, like archive.
In Synapse,
This is also
yeah, Data Factory and Synapse, both we can use HTML.
okay, and source file also in Synapse.
Yes, exactly. So we are going to reuse them actually. Whatever we are creating now, we have to download them, document them, separate them, and reuse them.
Okay.
Jens was mentioning about that specifically. We are going to reuse.
Yes, I.
Please tell me.
So you create a table of a particular data bricks, right? So is that table accessible only within that data brick, or
Yes.
okay, it's like an environment, let's say.
For now.
Okay.
Yes.
So we can't access.
For now. For now.
Okay.
Okay. I mean to say, brother, if you check the diagram carefully, I said Power BI, right? We are going to use it. We can access the table from Power BI next. You got it? Diagram. We are going to use it.
So it's through the Databricks created.
Through cluster. Power BI connect to cluster. Cluster can access the table. Only cluster can access the table. So whoever can connect to the cluster has indirect access to the table. That is the diagram meaning.
Okay.
So we can access. For now, we are accessing within the cluster, within the database. Later classes will Power BI to cluster, cluster to table. Two-level access we have.
So while we are practicing, if we are stuck somewhere, okay, so how we can connect on your number, right?
Yeah, my number, the thing is over.
Okay, so we have to share a screenshot and some details, right? What exactly we are. Okay, thank you.
How is the standard cluster different from a group cluster?
Sir, you have to wait until the architect, sir, I was telling. Please, I was telling multiple times. It's not a revision class, a learning class, sir. Please understand.
This red box is Databricks, and what is this blue box?
Complete Azure account.
Okay.
Okay. We got an Azure account, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Azure account.
Azure portal.
Complete exactly Azure subscription. Azure box. Yes. But easy understanding, okay?
Yeah. This diagram is very informative. Thank you.
Right.
And one more question. question. I just check. I got your email. Did you send the FAQ for today also, or we just need to send?
No. Like whoever submitted yesterday's one, I need to verify, and for them, I am going to send the next round of FAQs as appropriate based on their response. We'll do one.
Okay. Thank you.
Give me some time, okay? I'll check and okay.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Oh, fine, friends. We'll stop for today. Please go through the notes carefully. Lot of things to learn. I need your support. By heart each and every line. By heart even full stop also from the notes. Please, they are simple, straight, small things. Please do it carefully. Please. Thank you. Meeting tomorrow to continue SPL notebooks. Thank you, friends. Have a nice time. Please practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much. Just closing the window. Thank you.